It was a horrific rape and murder. A little girl's naked body found hidden under a carpet remnant. This week, horror in Stoner's Pit. May 19th, 1984. It's a warm day in Sacramento's Howe Park. 10-year-old Arby, his sister, 7-year-old Marcy, and friend, 9-year-old PJ, are enjoying the day. The two boys are fishing from a dock, while Marcy plays with some kids a few feet away. A stranger approaches the boys and strikes up a conversation with the two. He gives them advice on fishing, then wanders off, but hangs around, lurking nearby. Next, he approaches the kids playing and starts to talk with Marcy. He asks her if she likes ducks. She said that she did. He told her he knows where there's a nest and will give her a baby duckling if one has hatched. This excited Marcy, and she quickly asked Arby if she could go with the man. Her brother told her to be back in 1 hour, so Marcy and the stranger make their way through the park. So who is he? He's 22-year-old Troy Adam Ashmus, a homeless carnival worker that's staying at another park just up the way. Ashmus, a violent felon, was said to be friendless and angry. Earlier in the day, he assaulted and tried to rape a woman, but bystanders came to her aid and he fled the area. Now, he's got a new victim, but this one won't be so lucky. They enter Santa Anita Park and make their way to a secluded area, dubbed Stoner's Pit. It's littered with trash. Heavy brush makes it totally private. Troy has been living there. Back at Howe Park, an hour has passed and Marcy has not returned. Arby and PJ start to look for her to no avail. The two boys find a phone and Arby calls his dad. The father rushed over and they all continued to search. The police were called in. They searched the entire area. A neighbor came and helped. He was sifting through garbage in Stoner's Pit. At about 8:30 he moved a piece of discarded carpet, and there was little Marcy, naked and dead. Police canvassed the area. A few hours later they found Troy hanging out nearby. As they questioned him, they noticed fresh abrasions on his hand. They slapped cuffs on him. Back at the station, police interrogate Troy. He immediately confessed to the crime. Ashmus claimed he didn't have intent to rape or kill the girl. Once they got to Stoner's Pit, it hit him. He asked Marcy to take off her clothes. She complied. He took his off also. He said his intentions were just to, quote, make her happy. The following is from court documents. The defendant and Marcy proceeded to Stoner's Pit. Once there, he subjected her to a fatal attack. He raped her and perhaps also penetrated her with some foreign object, making a very large tear through the length of her vagina to within 1/4 of an inch of her rectum. He sodomized her, inflicting 2 small wounds in the anal or rectal tissue. He possibly committed oral copulation by inserting his penis into her mouth. He evidently ejaculated over her body. He stuffed into her mouth and throat material including 2 plastic bags, a piece of cellophane about 6 inches long and 3 inches wide, and a pair of shorts she had been wearing. The bags were wedged side by side in separate tight wads deep in her throat with the cellophane in between. The shorts were tightly compressed within her mouth. The bags obstructed her throat in, caused her to die by asphyxiation, covering her naked body with a carpet remnant he had used for a sleeping mat during his stay at Stoner's Pit. He fled the scene. Troy claimed the following, according to his testimony. At first, she did not resist because all I was doing was like a man would regularly treat a woman. During what he called the process of making love to her, he did nothing that would be harmful to her. Let's put it this way, he continued, when I make love to a woman, one of my girlfriends, she don't have no complaints at all. Soon, however, Marcy's eyes began to flow with tears and she cried for help. A few seconds later, someone walked by and yelled out, "Did someone holler for help?" He then pushed the plastic bags into her mouth, but only to keep her quiet. After the act, he cleaned himself off and got dressed. I believe she was still moving when I finally left, he said. Troy claims that he didn't remove the bags from her mouth because he forgot they were there. He covered her with the carpet remnant out of courtesy. Ashmus said he felt shame and remorse from the moment he did the deed. And he stated that he preferred to refer to Marcy as a person. Quote, "Because I'm tired of people using the word child." There was no indication that there was ever a duck's nest. Ashmus was charged with felony murder in the course of rape, felony murder in the course of sodomy, felony murder in the course of a lewd or lascivious act on a person or a child under 14 years of age, all with special circumstances. He pled not guilty. 2 years later, and a change of venue from Sacramento to San Mateo County, his trial began. The people attempted to prove that the defendant was especially cruel and his attacks singularly brutal. They relied largely on the established circumstances of the offenses. For his part, Ashmus tried to show the opposite. For example, he testified that he had consumed marijuana on the day in question, and putting the cellophane in her mouth was to quiet her down and not to kill her. The defense tried to paint a picture of a man that grew up in an abusive household and had mental disabilities, along with organic brain damage. It didn't work, and on July 25th of 1986, Troy Adam Ashmus was sentenced to death. Marcy's murder changed her father Robert, or Bob, Davis. People say he went from being, quote, an outspoken, congenial and enthusiastic man to an inconsolable and angry one. In 1988, 4 years after Marcy's death, Bob and another man were attacking someone, then started to attack a tow truck driver. Another tow truck driver arrived and shot Bob. He died at the scene. This kind of behavior was not in his nature prior to 1984. Troy Adam Ashmus sat on California's death row 34 years, until the year 2020. When COVID-19 did the state's job for them, and he died of complications. Marcy Davis would be nearly 50 years old today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.